Hello, beautiful souls. Today's episode is so good. And before we jump in, I have some exciting news to share. If you've ever wondered where you're blocking money, this is for you. I've created a free quiz to diagnose your money wounds so you can heal them and unblock yourself to receive more money. Just go to moneywoundsquiz.com and answer 6 quick questions to get your insanely accurate and potent results. And if you're loving my vibe and want to work one-on-one to call in more feminine energy wealth, I would love to hear from you. You can shoot me a DM on social media or go to emilywilcox.com to learn more.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to the show. I've got such a good episode for us today. I hope y'all are having a great holiday season. I am sitting in my office. It's been super cold out here, like in the 40s, which I know, boo-hoo. I grew up in Michigan and it was so much colder than that. But the thing you got to know about Southern California is that our houses are not built for the cold. They're not well insulated. They often don't really have like central heating. And so when it's cold, we really feel it. Like it's cold inside the house too. So I am bundled up over here. I've got my fireplace roaring and I had like hot ramen for lunch and I'm just doing everything to try and take care of my human. And I will confess that I secretly love it because it's the holiday season. And I think growing up in a cold weather state where it would be snowing around the holidays, like it just feels right that we would be bundled up. So that is what's going on over here. I'm super excited about it's not even really an interview. It's actually another coaching session. So it's with someone who I'm obsessed with. She's probably my favorite photographer of all time that I've worked with. And so when she said that she wanted to do a coaching session together, I was super excited because she's been making some pivots and changes to her business so that she's branching out of just photography. So the guest today, her name is Ashley Strong Smith, and she is doing courage coaching, which looks like walking women across the bridge of dreaming into doing. She's also, as mentioned, a boutique wedding and lifestyle photographer. She's been doing that for 15 years. She started a podcast as well. So she's the host of the Living Courageously podcast. And, she's just a cool person who is, out there living her dream and doing it in a way that we can all follow along and be inspired by it. And the women that feel called to work with her, also get to pull up a seat and join the table. So without further ado, enjoy this coaching session with Ashley Strong Smith. Yeah. So someone was like, okay, I want help coach me around getting to 30K months. That's what I want to do. And here's where I'm at now. And we worked on it together. It doesn't have to be related to money. I'm trying to think
okay,
what other people brought forward.
Well, because that's what you are. You're a money mindset coach, correct?
I do money mindset. And then I also do business coaching. So my zones of genius are around any money shit. And then also just growing and scaling your business and masculine and feminine energy.
So let me just give you, because I think that's why I was drawn to this. So I've been in the transition of moving from full-time photography to incorporating and moving into coaching and being a podcast host. And I think something I've learned is photography will always be embedded in who I am and what I do. But that is not what gets me up in the morning. And I've had to really honor that. I haven't, I've worked with you, I have a talent that is beyond something I'm conscious of with photography.
Yes.
And I think where I'm at is I'm so blessed for that. And I'm grateful. And I know that it will be embedded in what I do and how I make money and how I'm in exchange with this world. But my big thing is I am being so called. It's it sounds so crazy sometimes because I'm like, I have yet to make a single dollar at coaching, if I'm being totally transparent. But like every day I am being called to like follow this like inspiration into my coaching journey. And I've had a business coach this whole past year. I've invested it in a mastermind. I've learned phenomenal things from her on like the business side of things. But like, I think for me, where the block is and where I'm at is like, my photography business was so successful. I mean, I reached stuff I never thought I could because of all of the work I did behind the scenes and all the ways that I coached myself. And so if there's insight in coaching around how to take what I tapped into and making my photography. I mean, I got my photography business to like financially where I wanted it to like, I plateaued, which is why I'm being called to transition. But like, I feel like I haven't like connected with that in my coaching business. And I'm still like, I still don't quite believe that I have what it takes to be a coach.
Okay.
So that's like, I don't know if that's a question or.
That's perfect. Let's run with that.
Okay.
So like, who is your ideal coaching client?
Yeah. So really it's definitely women. It's women who have gotten to a place in their life where they've lived a bit of their career. They're possibly like a mother, have one or two kids that are still a little bit young, but they're at this place in their life where they just wake up feeling so stagnant, so stuck, like they don't know what they're doing, either for themselves or for their life. Or they're like in this hamster wheel of just like analysis paralysis.
Okay.
Like a big thing too is like women who are tired of turning other people's dreams into realities and want to turn their dreams into a reality, but need clarity on what that is.
Got it. Okay. So I'm hearing they need clarity. They might be feeling totally stuck, but also maybe are just feeling a little bit like meh about their current like career. Okay.
Totally. Or like the big thing is like just being like uninspired. Like just like all I can visualize is this hamster wheel of like being on it and knowing that like, oh my God, like I want to get off this, but have no idea how to even get off of it.
Okay. And so ideally, they work with you, and what's the transformation?
The transformation is that they get really clear on what it is that is missing in their life.
Okay.
Not just in like a career, like business standpoint, but like maybe it's they're not like feeding their soul, maybe that they don't have an inspiration, maybe they've lost their passion. So it's identifying that thing that's missing, that's making them feel stagnant and stuck and like uninspired, and getting clarity around how to like build a roadmap to make that a possibility in their life.
Okay.
So basically find the missing link and then create and like my whole thing is I've been coaching 3 women this year that are just like, oh my God, it's so inspirational. And my biggest thing is like, I want them to have tangible roadmaps for like tangible change in their life.
Okay. So can I tell you what's not resonating for me in the message?
Please.
Okay. Okay.
Please.
So what I hear you kind of selling in talking about and even labeling yourself as a courage coach, it's like you're selling the middle steps and kind of like the medicine that they have to take, but not the cure. Not like the destination. So it's, for example, like, you know, there's the 6-night, 7-day vacation in Maui, and you're kind of like, all the travel's included, and I booked you like nonstop tickets so that you don't have to spend like a ton of time in the airport, and like all of the logistics are taken care of for you, and there's going to be a car waiting for you. And it's like, okay, like all that's pretty great, but like, how about like just imagine yourself lying on the beach with the coconut in hand and the blended drink and the book open.
Yeah.
And so, and it might be that like you feel more comfortable talking about the process or the middle steps because you feel like maybe that's where you're at a little bit, or it feels more tangible and there's something scarier about selling the outcome?
Yeah. I mean, I resonate with that so much. And I love that you said, like, I think that is something that is tripping me up is like, so I've been a photographer for 15 years. I ran it as a full-time business for 8. When I tell people I'm a photographer, it is so tangible what it is. When I show people my photos, they immediately can put themselves like in that space of like, oh my God, like I want my wedding photos to look like that, or my branding photos, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Why I think I am struggling with this, and I totally agree with you, is because when I say courage coaching, or I say these things like that tangible component is so different for every woman. Yeah. And that is why I think I'm struggling with the like coconut, like fun umbrella in the like pina colada drink or whatever your drink of choice is because that is so different for every woman and their why is so different.
Yeah. And so it's like, yes, it's not going to be as tangible, but what we want to do is really be talking about like the transformation in the outcome, because the feelings aren't that different. Okay. So it's like, if you wake up wondering like, am I going to be doing this every day for the rest of my life? How would it feel to go from that to like jumping out of bed, lit up, like feeling inspired, like can't wait because like you have a mission in the world and like you're so excited to be doing it and you love what you're doing. You'd be doing it even if you weren't getting paid, but like also let's monetize the shit out of it so that you can make a great living.
Yeah.
So it's like talking about the feeling, it's like that resonates more universally, even though why they're stuck and what their passion is and how they can bring more of that into their lives might be different. So I would spend a little time just trying to think about like, what are the feelings right now of my ideal client? And what would be the feelings that they would experience in their more ideal state?
Yeah. I think something that like in you saying that, I've spent a lot of time in like their feelings, but it's more so the feelings of going through the coaching journey and the experience and tapping into courage versus the feeling of like when they're on the other side of the coaching experience or journey. So I definitely agree with that there.
Courage is the airplane. Like courage is just the vehicle that gets you from point A to point B. And so that's why it's not like maybe crazy resonating, because it's like at the end of the day, well, why do I need courage? Like courage isn't the end state that I'm trying to get to. Courage is like the vessel that's going to help move me from point A to point B, but I'm always going to be most activated by the destination, not by the vehicle that gets me there.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I would just play with that. And then I also, because I agree, you've like ruined me for all other photographers. I like worked with another photographer after we did our most recent photo shoot, and I was like, this sucks. I don't like this.
I got you, girl. Don't worry.
Yeah. So I feel like there's still something there. Like maybe there are some really fun, unique offers that combine the coaching and the photography. And like maybe the photography, again, is just one of the ways that you help draw out this next level, like lit up, passionate, turned on, plugged in version of your clients. And it could be like something that culminates at the end of the coaching experience. It could be somewhere in the middle where it's like you take them through some processes to like really get connected what it is that they want. And then the photo shoot is part of like the courage of stepping into that identity. And then there's work that you do together after. But it feels like there could be some really creative ways to marry the two skills.
And so like when I've visualized like what I'm doing with these women, like it ends with literally being in person in the mountains, like in a weekend experience of like nature hikes and meditations and like farm to table foods and like having a photo shoot in this like new embodied self. So I've like, all of that is there. I think where the like disconnect is like how to communicate like what that feeling behind that experience is.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's like from a sales and marketing perspective, we want to like package it up a little bit more. And I think sometimes we get afraid of like leaving anyone behind in the process. Like, well, if I label it this, then what if someone doesn't resonate with that? But I think just trusting that like energetically, the people that are drawn to it are going to feel it anyway. But it's like, what are those words? Because I'm imagining a sales post that's like, I want to take your picture, but it's not just your picture. Like, I'm not just a photographer anymore. This is not the vibe. I want to capture the most embodied, next level, turned on, plugged in, on mission, passionate version of you that you probably haven't met yet.
Yeah.
So I take you through a unique process where we work together on coaching so that you meet her first.
Yeah.
You understand who she is and how we're going to bring her to life. And then at the end of the 3 months or whatever the time frame is, we meet in person and we capture her with photography.
Yeah.
Like that sounds so cool.
Yeah.
And it to me, there's more tangible like feeling to that offer than when we were talking about kind of the courage coaching and you're on the hamster wheel and your analysis paralysis. Like that feels a little harder to sink my teeth into. Like, well, but what's going to happen?
Yeah. Well, I think I like something that you're creating a lot of clarity around is like, I'm stuck in that messy middle.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's so much newness this year and like how to marry all of these passions and like parts of like the other thing that like, and you saying that too, it's like, I think maybe I've like thought too narrow-mindedly because it's like my photography business would not be what it was without this coaching. And it's like, for me, like when I do photography, it's like, yeah, I can take really pretty photos, but it's like the reason why my photos have that impact and have that experience is like, I care more about the connection with the person. And like, the more that I can get to know the layers underneath the skin, the more that like what is on top of the skin can shine through.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the more you own that and like really speak about that, and then kind of talk about this offer that marries the two. And I'm not saying like you can't have pure coaching offers. What I'm saying is that you will be able to borrow more confidence from the photography business right now and build more momentum that way. And so it's like, rather than being like, yeah, I was a photographer, but I'm over here doing something totally different and I have very little evidence that it's going to work, but like, I'm just going to try no matter what. It's like the more you can just borrow evidence of like, I'm an incredible photographer. I built a multi-six-figure business. I know how to capture this with women. Like, here's what makes me so unique. And now I'm creating an offer that's really incredible and so unique, that's really like pairing these two things together.
Yeah.
It's like you're just going to have an easier time selling it because you're going to believe more in it. You're probably going to have clients that have already worked with you before coming out of the woodworks, like, because they already believe in your photography. They already like you. And it's like, oh, this is so cool. What a unique thing.
Yeah.
And then it's like, it gives you more confidence in what you're doing on the coaching side and gives you more to like respond to and be like, I really like this part of coaching. This part didn't work. We actually need more time. Or it's like, it's so much easier to tweak it as you go.
Yeah.
But like the more momentum you can get and the more you can borrow the belief from the photography and be like, okay, these aren't like sitting in parallel. It's like, I am who I am and I have the gifts that I have because I've built this incredibly successful business. And by the way, that was probably monetizing your passion, which likely many of your clients want to do also.
Mm.
So it's like just talking about like, you know, following your passion and turning it into a multi-six-figure business, like harnessing the uniqueness of your energy and the way that you connect with people.
Yeah.
And just like letting the two blend in all the ways.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be so much more resonant. You'll get a lot of clients coming out of the woodworks ready to work with you.
I really love that perspective. Thank you. I think because this is so foreign and so different, I think I've been very, like, I think I've like almost feel like I'm completely starting over versus like harnessing what I've already created. Like it almost feels like I had to let go of everything that I created to create this. And I think that's like, even now I've been like finalizing my like above the fold, and it's like, what is that like transformation? And like, it just doesn't feel like I've been working on this all year and it just doesn't feel right. Like everything I write, I'm like, but is that the truth?
Yeah.
So love this perspective.
Amazing. And then I would just say, like, just know that the growth and the evolution is inevitable. So it's like what you write that feels like the truth today,
Well,
you know, like it's just going to continue getting better and better.
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes it feels so difficult because it's like we want to kind of be at the destination with our business.
Yeah.
And it's like, but how do we get there? Like we only can just like show up and do our best today, speak our truth today, share what feels right today, share the pricing and the offers that feel good today. And like, of course it's going to evolve. Of course your prices will go up over time. You'll be more exclusive. You'll, you know, like that's just all inevitable.
Exactly.
And so I think when we take that pressure off of like really nailing it, and just let ourselves play and experiment.
Yeah.
And for me, like anytime I'm testing a new offer, I just check in with myself. Like, do I want to open this to one person? Do I want to open it to 3? Like I'll very rarely do more than 3 when it's a new offer if it's one-on-one work.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like, let me just play and experiment. And so we'll do 3 and then we'll see if this is like my favorite thing ever, then this is it. And if we need to tweak it, we tweak it.
I love that you said that because I've been coaching 3 women privately through my courage coaching. And the one tomorrow is her like quote unquote last day of the like 12-week series. And I'm like, it feels like to me, like, I really love what you're talking about with this photo shoot, because I'm like, to me, like I want it to be like a, you know, like an last pizza party, you know, like I'm like, there needs to be a celebration, because watching particularly where this woman was when we started this journey. So technically it was a 3-month journey, but with like life and sickness and travel, it turned into like a little bit over 4 months. Watching where she was when we started this journey And where her life is now is just like, I mean, I get so like giddy because it's like having a sacred container to support someone for them to realize what their truth actually is. And like now being on the other side of it, I'm like, I want to celebrate her like in a way that I don't know how to.
Yeah.
Like, how do you celebrate someone who's finally living their truth and their purpose and like listening to like what their soul wants and needs?
Yes. And by the way, you can offer that as an optional upgrade for her.
Yeah.
Like, just be like, we're on this call. We're going to celebrate the heck out of you. And if this celebration feels complete, that is perfect. Yeah. And I feel like I have this vision for a next level celebration where we're in person. You're in these incredible clothes. I'm taking your pictures, like, and we're really capturing this new version of you. If you want to do that, let me know and I'll share with you what the investment details are and we'll work it out.
Yeah. It like makes me think of like, like women get boudoir shoots to like celebrate either like getting engaged or like getting a divorce or losing a bunch of weight or like even gaining weight, but feeling like more embodied. And it's like, why can't this be a different form of like a boudoir celebration?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
1000%.
Oh,
I'm so excited for you.
I'm so curious now because my goals this month is like, I'm launching 2 new offers in the new year. So like, I've been working on refining it. And I think the big thing, I'm like, I can't like, for me, like, I think because I am a creative and an artist and a visual, like I need something like tangible to see.
Yes.
And I feel like I don't even have my like springboard right now to then launch off these offers. So this was really helpful, especially
I am so glad
organizing them and like getting them ready for the world to see.
Yay! Amazing. All right. Okay, friends. So if you want to follow along with Ashley, you can go to Instagram and follow her at @AshleyStrongSmith_. She shares about her podcast. She shares her beautiful photography. She shares about her courage coaching. And I know she would be so touched to hear that you listened to today's episode. Here were my takeaways. Number one, we often cling to what feels the most tangible in our business, but those are not usually the things that activate our dream clients to purchase. Number two, focus on the transformation and the destination of your offer instead of those in-between steps. Number three, borrow belief from other businesses or career experiences. And number four, find creative ways to marry your skill sets in business so that your business and your offers are a more full expression of you and your gifts. Thank you so much for tuning in. I've got another incredible episode coming up with Adrienne Garland, where we dive into visibility, marketing, so much more, all the good things. Make sure you tune in for that. Adrienne is an absolute powerhouse. And as always, if you've been enjoying the show, please leave a review, share the show with a friend, share on social media. It's absolutely free and it really helps more than you know. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's show. Before you go, I have something fun to share. Now, when you leave a review of the podcast on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube, take a quick screenshot and send it to hi@emilywilcox.com. You'll be entered into a drawing to win a free one-on-one Voxer coaching day with me, and you help the show reach more new listeners. Such a win-win. I also invite you to follow me on Instagram @mmakesmoney and to jump into my free Telegram community, The Money Club, which is linked in the show notes. Until next time, I'm sending you all the magic money vibes.